today we have Honorable Mustapha Gbande, who is the NDC Deputy General Secretary in charge of operations. Very big post, Honorable. Very, very big post. How are you? How was your trip here?
We thank God. We are enjoying the trip and learning new things.
Yes.
That we'll be taking back home.
Okay.
So far so good. What is very important is that we are happy that the UK chapter elections have finally been held successfully. We know our executives and members who were waiting to see leadership, put in place so that they can also contribute their efforts into 2024 has finally got an answer, and for me that is the most important thing.
Yes, thank you. This goes to our viewers. If you want to call in, the number is 0044 75 136 88 333. I don't know, a number of things has come up over the week. I mean, we will go straight to what Kendapa was saying about the media and how what he's saying is that some people in academia, CSO, and media have become cool mongers. But is this something that the police also have to be involved? If there is this going on about people scaring or saying things which maybe they should not say, because under our constitution 1992, this is not something that we have to entertain.
So first and foremost, I would like to thank you and thank you to our cherished listeners. First and foremost, I don't know where the National Security Minister took his assessment from, because for a security chief or a minister of security, in fact, national security, you do not make public comments like a pedestrian. You do not comment like a journalist. Before you make a comment, that means that a comment has to do with security threats, and that threat undermines the integrity of our national security. And then for you to say that something undermines our security or is a threat to our national security, that would have to either be as a result of organized crimes or aggressive agitations from the people. So we have simply moved from what we call traditional security setups to what we call the concept of human security. So nations, civilized nations, developing nations are now tackling issues of security from the perspective of human-centered. So you are looking at what government has been able to do to the people. So if CSOs are complaining, exposing corruption, talking about non-performance, talking about broad-day stealing within government, talking about vis-a-vis hardship of the people, talking about how government have destroyed our education, talking about bribery and corruption, under the current leadership, the National Security Minister's best approach to that is the people who are rather whistleblowers, who are rather bringing the facts out to fight this canker, are coolmongers. For me, I think it's quite unfortunate and it's a very preposterous approach to security.
He said that he has observed and been propagating false narratives in support of a coup rule. And he said that these actions have gained substantial followings on social media. So he's trying to say that he has evidence.
He's a sleeping minister. If there's nothing that's a threat to our security, it's a current setup of governance led by the president, who is a threat to our security because he failed to provide food, he failed to protect the people, he failed to give quality education, he failed to give employment, he failed to give good health. President Akufo-Addo have never built a single hospital in Ghana. President Akufo-Addo have virtually undermined our food security program. He came up and said that he's going to do one district, one factory, one village, one dam. These are social intervention policies that would have, brought about food security in Ghana. That would have ensured that the cost of living is reduced to the bare minimum for the poor people to be able to contain. What did he do? They took money from World Bank and they chopped the money and undertook what we call construction of dugouts. So those dams are not existing. One district, one factory. They go to villages, even including pure water factories. And then you own your pure water factory. They come to tell you that we like to repaint it, rebrand it, and name it one district, one factory. Give you some small money. And then put it in the public and say that they have built a factory. That is what the president is doing. That is what the ministers are doing. Who is more treacherous to our security than these people? Currently, as we speak, there's a flood disaster in the Volta region.
Yes.
A section of Ghanaians have lost their homes, not because of natural disaster, because a dam has been opened, it peeled over and took over a whole settlement. It has affected 9 constituencies. Yes. What did the president say? You don't vote for me. Yes. Till today, as we speak, we do not have a national solution to that problem. We do not have a national-centered approach.
Is this approach, or is what the president's statement will also make voters to say, is it a way of scaring voters to say, if you don't vote for us, then this is what we're going to get?
It's an admission of a disoriented president. It's an admission that President Akufo-Addo is not in charge. Because you don't threaten people. That statement doesn't threaten the people. It's a reckless statement.
Does it affect people's human rights?
It doesn't just affect human rights. It undermines the security of the nation.
Yes.
Because that is where we breed terrorism from. That is where we breed sickness from. That is where people will get up and organize against the government. So if there's anybody that's a coup monger, it is the minister who fails to advise the president.
Then the MPP,
it is the president himself.
Then the MPP under NS Owusu Bempah, the deputy communication, who is also part of the facing the country movement. And then he's saying that they're saying that they will go ahead with the plan to pick it at the office of our former president. That
is a mutually assured
on Thursday, November 16th.
That is something.
I know it's going to annoy you.
That is something I call a mutually assured destructive demonstration. And you have the police at the center. We can assure them that if they do anything that threatens the environment of President Mahama under Article 13 of the Constitution and further on the Criminal Offences Act, where every citizen whose liberty is undermined by way of threat unlawfully have the right to defend themselves, we will protect President Mahama.
How?
People
will say how?
We will protect him.
Yes, how?
You know, nobody has a right to kill. But to the extent that your life is threatened, you can kill.
Yes.
And I'm saying that they should try it. Likely all of us will be in Ghana. They should threaten President Mahama's residence and we will protect him because he's a president in waiting.
Is it the same?
So the people who would cause this insecurity, who bring this chaos, are actually the police service. And the National Security Minister who sanctions that a demonstration should be organized to the residence or the private office of His Excellency, the former President John Dramani Mahama. And we in the NDC will not sleep.
So November the 16th is a D-Day.
It's a showdown.
It's a showdown day.
Yes.
That the youth of NDC, but is facing the country
we
movement.
would want to see that happen. Because it's been something that the NDC have continuously been maltreated and undermined for a long time by this setup. This is a setup that believes that we should recruit people who are not security people, who are neither police or the military. Give them uniforms to commit crimes. Evidence of that exists in Techim and South. The police have failed to investigate that. This is a government that believes that through national security, people should be given arms and moved into a by-election in Ayawaso West Wagon, kill citizens. They have done that in a few years. This is not the NDC that will tolerate that. This is the NDC that believes that if you touch a single soul, a single member of the National Democratic Congress, you have touched the party and would own the right to defend ourselves.
Is it what I mean? I was having conversation, and what they're saying is that NDC made a representation in terms of the Supreme Court for the voter registration exercise.
Yes.
But no one turned up in court.
I am not too sure.
Is this going to be a case of saying something and not doing it, or saying it and doing it?
Well, at the end of the day, what I do know by law is that when a matter is before the Supreme Court, even on issues as small as procedure, it's very substantial to our judicial process as far as Supreme Court is concerned.
So, no lawyer or
the fact that a lawyer,
representative from the NDC attended.
The fact that a lawyer wasn't in court does not determine the merits of the matter. The Supreme Court can throw out.
But this was a serious case. To say the injunction, so to stop the EC from going ahead with a limited registration voter exercise.
If there was anybody,
but no one turned up.
If there was anybody who has been unfair to Ghanaians, it is the Chief Justice who believed that in a representative action, a joint action of other political parties in the interest of Ghanaians, seeking an interpretation, seeking an injunction for a proper interpretation of what CI 91 says. In that regard, the Chief Justice decides that whereas the exercise was within a certain period, let me put the hearing after the exercise is over.
Oh,
that's what she did. So if there's anybody who have been unfair to Ghanaians, it is the Chief Justice, who is politically oriented in her affairs of managing the judiciary, whose decisions are moved and motivated politically to aid Akufo-Addo in perpetrating injustice against Ghanaians. The exercise was very simple. The Constitution says that the Electoral Commission shall continue to register people in accordance with the increment in the population. In doing so, CI 91 Section 2 states that the Electoral Commission, in demarcating centers for registration, must ensure that those centers are accessible. Number 2, those centers has the possibility of being used as voting centers. The framers of the Constitution contemplate that it is not every voter that is educated.
Yes.
That is why we have civic education. That the Electoral Commission, in fact, should undertake public education on how to vote. And so when the people register at a particular place, they assume that they will vote at the same place. Our argument was very simple, that we find ourselves at the moments where the NPP-led government, under His Excellency Nana Addo, says that because of Ukraine and because of COVID, the economy has crashed. We agree, and we're saying that if the economy is crashed, whereas your government continue to live opulently in corruption, broad day thievery, that is not enough. Do not allow Ghanaians face the difficulty. So in other words, make registration very accessible to the people of Ghana. We have hinterlands where people will have to travel several kilometers on the lakes in order to get to the district capitals. We have on land where people will have to travel about 100 kilometers to be able to get to the district capitals. When they get there, because of network challenges and the numbers, if they don't get to register the same day, they will have to sleep. Who bears the accommodation? Who bears the transportation? The insecurity issues that come with it. As we speak, 2 people died in Ghana, in Tema East, in the course of being transported to go and register. Who is responsible for this? And so we simply ask that decentralize the process either to the electoral areas or polling stations, because the ordinary business of the Electoral Commission from its headquarters is at a polling station. Electoral Commission has no business registering people at the district office, because they will be voting at their respective polling stations. So register them there, because there's hardship. People are suffering. The Electoral Commission says no, having secret meetings with government. And we went to court to seek an injunction so that we can have the hearing of Electoral Commission for us to address the economic issues. As we speak, the exercise have ended. Many young people in Ghana have not got the opportunity to register. But they are 18 years, contrary to Article 42 of the Constitution. Article 43
So what is going to happen then?
So that
because
is,
they not had the opportunity to register.
that is answering your issue that if a lawyer doesn't go to court, does not dilute the merit and facts of a case.
But decisions
The
can be
court
made without
did so.
anyone being
The court
there.
did so in pursuit of their populist and politically motivated agenda and scheme to say that let us discredit the applicants. Let us say that even as they make noise about the case, they have not come to court. If a lawyer is not able to make it to court on any occasion while the matter is in court, a simple new date is scheduled. So the court should not be in a rush to dispose of a matter and as it were dismiss same only because a lawyer or one party to the matter haven't come to court. That is itself unfair to the judicial process. That is in itself is unkind to a judiciary that wants to build public confidence, because as we speak, the confidence around institutions of state have been diluted merely by the appointments of the president, because those appointments are not motivated by nationalistic mindset, but rather a very diluted political mindset where the president seeks to weaponize this institution to the advantage of the MPP, to the advantage of protecting and defending his corrupt acts, such that when people are taken to the process of law, because the president appointed people or individuals who are politically motivated, they are able to bury the facts, they are able to defend themselves, they are able to perpetrate injustice against the public in the interest of people who are supposed to be at the wrong side of the law. That is what Nanado is. So in totality, if you want to look and assess insecurity in Ghana, legally, economically, health-wise, the president, health-wise, the minister of national security is responsible. This is a minister of national security who was engaged in a very illicit, immoral sexual act. This is a man who should have resigned. This is a man who sleeps in public, a national security minister. He sleeps in public, yet he is able to identify that actors who are, defend the interests of the public, actors who are continuously in the business of unraveling corruption, speaking against him, are coup mongers. Today, as we speak in Ghana, a coup is very legitimate in Ghana, except that the NDC doesn't want to benefit from a coup. If the NDC seek to benefit from a coup, anybody overthrowing Akufo-Addo will be legitimate, because it will gain 90% endorsement from the people of Ghana.
Are we heading?
He has no business being there.
Are we heading to the way the
That's
tension
why
is
we are
this
saying
week?
that. That is why we are saying that the NDC do not have benefits. We do not see how that will benefit Ghanaians. If we are saying that a government have failed and that we are coming to do the nation good, this is not a time for us to go into a coup. I'm just saying that coup is a very legitimate exercise in Ghana today, if undertaken will gain support of 90% of Ghanaians.
So
Nanado is the worst person who we have mistakenly allowed to be close to our governance.
So an eye for an eye principle, we're getting near there.
We are not just there. We are in the situation where if they touch anybody in the MDC, it doesn't matter which medium they deploy. We will use our medium and return
Nanado,
the same
die,
to them.
then our former president will do or die. And your one.
President, we wouldn't wait for President Mahama to do that.
Yes.
We will do it on his behalf. You see, some people must die to protect the country. some people must rise up,
because at the moment there is high tension.
The tension is very necessary,
because
the tension is there because there are no jobs. Whereas in the president's daughter's restaurant, you can't wear slippers there. There are no jobs where the president have sold a glass factory to his daughter's husband. There are no jobs, but the president gave a company like Gihok to his son-in-law. His father is the father of his son-in-law. There are no jobs in Ghana. But if you go to the Jubilee House, it is the president and his families. To the extent that the president seeks that he can appropriate the power given to him to appoint his family, appoint his girlfriends to strategic places of governance. If they had the requisite capacity and ability to work, it was a different case. People who are hot-headed, non-performing family members who have crashed our economy into corruption. As we speak, you can find money at the bedroom of people, and when we speak, they say, oh, they haven't broken a law. Is it financially prudent for a minister in a government that is seeking to revive a collapsed economy to keep foreign currency in her bed? I have been in London here the past 2 weeks. I haven't seen even dollars, let alone to talk about cedis.
Yes.
I have dollars in my pocket right now. I cannot use it to buy anything because there are systems working here.
Yes.
And when you go to Ghana, a minister of state can keep more in excess to the extent that $1 million have been stolen.
Is it that we have to make a law to say that we use our cedis and then stop using?
We have a crook as a president. We have a man who simply doesn't care about the poor. We have a man who believes that he's at war with the whole nation. We have a man whose governance is about tribal conflicts. A man who thinks that at the time we thought as a nation that we have integrated to the extent that it doesn't matter where you come from. If you are a Northerner, you can employ an Achim person in your company. If you are an Ewe, you can employ an Ashanti in your company. You can marry inter-tribes. The president is still tribalistic in our country. We have a president who will discriminate in terms of crisis.
Is our 1992 constitution very discriminatory?
That's what I'm telling you.
Our constitution.
That's why I'm telling you that the president today is a product that coup should remove. President Akufo-Addo has no business being close to the Flagstaff, the Jubilee House of Ghana. And anybody who takes arms to remove him will be justified. 79 is today. Removing Akufo-Addo and persecuting all his appointees is very legitimate. It's a legitimate cause.
Our constitution don't allow for
the
this.
The constitution allows the president to appoint his family members into government against Article 296.
Okay. Now, men's go.
The constitution allows the president to so exercise his powers in a very capricious manner to the extent that undermines our national interest. He prepared what we call a Japadia document, prepared by his people. If you had read that document, you will be weeping by this time. And this was prepared by a president who is supposed to be a lawyer. A president who believes that, let me kill businesses of all other people, depending upon their region and their tribe, empower people from Achim land to fulfill generational and ancestral mandate and wish. And that person is talking about being treated fair, and he doesn't simply care. So when I hear people like Kandapa speak, I laugh because they are disoriented about the kind of danger they have plunged our nation into.
I think what needs to happen, in my view, is that Ken should bring out the evidence that he has. All the evidence that he
doesn't have. He doesn't have any evidence. The only evidence he has is how to breed foot soldiers, give them pistols. All the land guards in Accra who they have weaponized, all the weapons, the pistols they hold, where did they get it from? It was issued at National Security. What are they talking about? the current Greater Accra Regional Minister, they should ask him, when he was at National Security, the pistols that were issued to people, who issued them? The weapons that were used by people
was issued to what people?
The people who engaged in the Ayawaso West wagon.
Okay.
They were neither police officers, they were neither military officers, they were not national security officers per se. Where did they get the weapons from? If you can issue people whose profiles show that they are not, they don't have any training in our security services, they are not professionals, but yet you put them in uniforms, arm them to go and commit crimes, you will talk about crimes, you will talk about coup, you will talk about security threat. Demystify all of these issues into the conversation of human security and see if those government is way closer to solving the insecurity situation in Ghana. People cannot afford 3 square meals in a country like Ghana. People cannot get employment in Ghana fairly.
Yeah, you mentioned...
You've heard Professor Stephen Adai speak against broad day collection of bribery from ministers. That is not insecurity.
But he is claiming that, Ken is claiming that misinformation, whether intentional or inadvertent, from these individuals, because they are influential, poses a significant threat to Ghana's stability. So he is talking as if he has the evidence.
He has no evidence. He is disoriented. Very disoriented. He's not on top of his job.
So now
I would have wished that Kandapa will be telling the president that, Mr. President, you have failed. You have, your governance is not in sync with security principle number 1, number 2, number 3. Mr. President, let us go back to the drawing board.
Okay, I'm going back to the face, going to the mama.
Yeah.
Now they mentioned Airbus scandal, and they kind of push for the special prosecutor to kind of go investigate. And I mean, it is kind of, because this is NS is from MPP, obviously, you know, and he's also part of the.
That's an illiterate and an ignoramus who is satisfied. So his reasoning capacity has been undermined. Now,
but the police has given the go ahead.
No, that's why I'm saying that the police are the ones who want the bloodshed. That's why I'm saying that it's a mutually assured destruction program that will happen on the system. Because our laws in Ghana are not retroactively applied. They are not applied in the reverse. So the Constitution says that if somebody commits an offense, you simply give that person to security institutions. If the crime is defined under Act 29, Criminal and Offences Act, you give him to the police. The police should investigate, find culpability, and simply arraign the person. The government actually has an attorney general who has prosecutors who should prosecute that person in court. If it's a financial crime, take the person to economic and organized crime or the BNI. Right? If it's a national security situation, national security and the Ministry of Defense will take it up, depending upon what crime it is. If anybody within government so believes that Airbus scandal has anything to do with a former president, okay? If the president is not insulated by presidential immunities, and that the government have what it takes to prosecute him, President Mahama should be prosecuted by now. They have all that it takes to prosecute President Mahama if they have any evidence. So when your police, your BNI, your IOCO, your national security, all state apparatus have failed to find a charge against the former president, an illiterate like Owusu Bempah, very alarmist, goes to organize people, seek police approval, and say that we want to go and demonstrate at the residence, the private office of His Excellency the President, after the president, sitting president, have refused to give an official residence or office to the former president. He's managed to get himself a private place to operate. You have the same individuals going to demonstrate there. That is a mutually assured destruction. They should dare it on the 16th. We are not afraid of anybody. We are Ghanaians. We all have rights. Our rights are limited to the extent that it doesn't break a law. And if you want to go, the law is there. You should petition. Who appointed a special prosecutor? So the special prosecutor have what it takes to prosecute President Mahama, even though he has not been able to do so. But he doesn't have what it takes to prosecute Cecilia Dapa, who is a minister for sanitation. He doesn't have what it takes to investigate the involvement of people around the president, ministers of state who are engaged in illegal mining and the destruction of our vegetation.
This has become hot because I was reading this and it's saying that
it doesn't make sense.
If anyone dare their feet at the office of for our former president John Mahama to embark on any protest against the NDC, they threaten to kill. They will threaten to kill them.
I'm saying that on 16th, if the police let the demonstration happen and let the people come close to the residence of the former president. It is just opposite the residence of the vice president.
Okay.
And I'm saying that on the 16th, if they are men, let them go to his office and let us see.
Oh, so it's opposite as
Yes, if they are men,
yes,
let them, without any provocation, move anybody to the private office of His Excellency the President, and we'll have a showdown.
Yes.
Nobody is afraid
so
of
Nana. So 16th is the date.
They should come.
Yes.
We will all be in Ghana.
So what is the NDC saying? Are they saying that they don't want anyone
there? The NDC is saying that
don't venture there.
The NDC is saying that there are laws in Ghana.
Yes, follow the laws.
The law is that the sitting president of the Republic of Ghana, even though he's incompetent and he's corrupt, is President Akufo-Addo. He has what it takes to sanction, give any order for President Mahama to be investigated. He actually have what it takes to investigate anybody. And that if anybody commits a crime, that crime should be within the process of our law enforcement.
Yes.
Nana Akufo-Addo cannot create a law on his own. And that if President Mahama was engaged in some corrupt deal, a president who doesn't sign documents from ministries, they are ministers of state, they are institutions who are under the ministries. That president is the one who have committed a crime.
Is this similar to, is different to Fix the Country campaign to Jubilee House the other recently?
It's because the president is simply vested with the power of the people by constitution. Nana Addo is nobody without the power he has. And if you are administering the power of the people and they have issues, you have to address their issues. You said you fight corruption. Your government is the most corrupt in the Fourth Republic. In fact, in the history of our country, President Akufo-Addo will go down as the most corrupt president in the history of our country. You said you will give the people jobs. You haven't given them jobs.
But Umia said he's created over 2 million. I can let producer put it here.
He has been
2 million jobs for the youth.
Baumia has, I don't want to talk about him because we are dealing with very serious issues here. And when we are talking about bread and butter issues, when we are talking about issues that has to do with the livelihood of the Ghanaian people who are willing to pay their tax, who are willing to do what government wants. But we have few individuals who are stealing such resources. I do not want us to deviate into a man who is being used to carry out propagandist campaigns, unrealistic promises, promises that have not been achieved, promises that will never be achieved. Why is the MPP broken down today? It's because President Akufo-Addo feels that he has failed so much that Ghanaians will hold him accountable. And so his fears are that if he allows anybody from the MPP who is not loyal to him to take over the MPP, they will hold him accountable both in his party and in the country. So Baumia is a candidate of cover-up for Akufo-Addo's crimes. Number 2, a cover-up for the wrongs of Akufo-Addo. Number 3, a cover-up for the corruption demonstrated and manifested by the government of Akufo-Addo. So Bawumia will come and cover up. Ghanaians say that we don't simply want him. The MPP itself says we don't want him. We don't want Akufo-Addo to choose a president for us. Let Ghanaians go 2024 December and choose a president.
I mean, we also, it has come out that men's gold, number one.
Yes.
5 million to police to be dispersed to men's gold customers.
Crime.
5 million cash.
Crime is a wholesale today under Akufo-Addo.
Yes.
Crime.
Because this is cash. This is not.
This is a negotiated crime. Negotiated with the support of senior members of government, including Akufo-Addo himself. When Nam1 in 2016 was financing the MPP and Akufo-Addo, the then candidate Akufo-Addo, he was not a criminal. This is a man who took monies belonging to civil servants, small-scale business owners, retirees, who have been incentivized by the profiteering margins within the savings at Men's Gold. They've released their money, and the guy squanders their money. 4 or 5 years down the line, people have died. The guy is still walking about. But Nam1 can negotiate and pay.
Why is the police involved?
I'm surprised.
Because you have the money, but why is he going to the police and the police are the one who do the distribution?
Why are you surprised? Because you have a COP who recently made it known to Ghanaians the level of manipulations within the Ghana Police Service as far as the agenda of government towards the MPP is concerned. These people don't care about Ghanaians. Chief, you are sitting here in abroad, struggling day and night. Are you happy about what is happening back home? Today, if you take £1,000 to go and build a house in Ghana, it can't buy 300 bags of cement. Today, you cannot live in your house without being scared of armed robbers.
Yes.
Because you can't be protected. Today, if you take your matter to the police and you cannot lubricate people's mind, people's palms, to gain their attention, to actually deal with your matter, you cannot get justice. Justice at the Supreme, the judiciary is on wholesale. It's in a commercial. It's a commercial product.
Parliament and opposition doing about it?
That is why we are talking about it. That is why we are saying that 2024, we would have removed this government through public agitation. But we don't want to, because if you do that, you will simply take the nation 2 steps backwards. And so we agree that per the maturity of our democratic practice, the only way to remove a president, either a mistaken president, a corrupt president, or a president who is not due for what we call removal from or removal through parliamentary process, called impeachment. If you don't impeach the president, the only way to remove him is to wait for elections to be conducted. Because if we organize a coup, any group of people organize a coup today, they will take the nation 2 steps backwards. And so the NDC does not stand to benefit anything. The people of Ghana does not stand to benefit anything. Even though the West African sub-region is covered with coups, Ghana must stand as an exemplifying actor of democratic
So
process.
when the MPP are saying that they have undertaken a number of assessments and they are put in place and still working on it without leaving out the economic recovery, that they would shock NDC for 2024. Have any lessons been learned
If Ghanaians
from 2016?
Yes.
And then 2020.
Yes.
And now the MPP is saying this. So whatever happened in the 2016, 2020, they're looking to do the same. This is what they're saying.
They won't do the same. That would be a very deadly attempt. We know that the 2020 results were rigged. We also know that because they've lost the presidential, what they actually did was that after they realized that the NDC have won with very high margins, they, printed pink sheets. All right, they printed pink sheets that have already been printed. They printed the same serial numbers, took that to some specific constituencies in certain regions, and got polling agents to sign. So they retrieved the initial and original pink sheets for the purposes of elections, and then so if they rigged by 2 million votes, they distributed the votes on certain specific polling stations, created non-existing polling stations, and declared results through those elections. Yes, we made a mistake.
So then it can happen again.
Yes, we're not too vigilant, but not this time. They use the military, use a section of the police to kill people. We are telling them that if you kill a civilian unlawfully, you will be killed. That they should not think that NDC will not stand on and will own up. Because they've killed people in Techim and Saf and nothing happened. They've shot people in Ejura, nothing happened. They killed people in Ayewa, Suweswago, nothing happened. They shot people in Akakwe North, nothing happened. These were not civilians. These were people and actors within the police service and the military. And we are simply saying that the only autonomy of a security officer is the extent of how you are protected by the law. And the law doesn't allow you to undermine anybody's rights. And so if you go and you kill somebody simply because the people are demonstrating their civic rights, we would have a right to defend our lives. The police individuals who are in Ghana, they have families, they have wives, they have kids, they are suffering. The members of the Ghana Armed Forces, they were not recruited for these kind of wicked and veiled exercises, such as helping a corrupt regime to stay in power. And that the number of soldiers we have in Ghana does not outwit the number of civilians we have. To the extent that any exercise will be unlawful and illegal against the rights of the people, will rise up to defend the constitution, defend the democracy of our country. And so the happenings of 2016, 2020 were because the NDC stood at a very divided force. Suspicions among ourselves, divisions among ourselves, the blame game of 2016. Today as we speak, we have a very formidable party. We have a flag bearer who himself is willing and more than prepared for victory 2024. We have a party that is willing to fully stand by the flag bearer. We have former appointees who are all committed to the fact that the NDC need to come to power to help the people of Ghana. Because anytime the NDC is in power, the poor get richer. The rich get more richer. Because we empower without recourse to your political orientation, your political ideology, your political party, or your tribe, where you come from, your ethnicity. John Dramani Mahama will certainly give you an opportunity once you have the prerequisite skills. John Dramani Mahama do not care if you are an Ashanti, if you are from Achim, if you are from Volta. He simply believes that the duty of a government is to create the enabling environment for prosperity for all. That is what the NDC have been about. John Dramani Mahama was in power. He was in charge of sharing and distributing the national cake. Ashanti region got more than any other person. He didn't say that you don't vote for me. Today, as we speak, the party is so attractive. Every day and night, you get new people who are willing to join the party. So we are going back to Ghana to try and take a decision on how to start a membership drive. It means our party is attractive.
Yes.
It means that people have gotten to know the truth, the misrepresentation.
Is it the economy, the management of the economy, making the people feel that way? As Bawumia and the NPP saying that things are slowly, the economy is recovering slowly.
No, there's a new NDC. An NDC that is very vigilant, an NDC that is very organized. You have executives who will die to protect the party and to fight for the people of Ghana. Versus you have a government made up of crooks and criminal syndicates. You have a government that is so inept, they lack ideas, do not know how to solve problems. Their interest is to pursue the agenda as contained in the Ajapadia document under the influence of the Dankwa tradition. Finish. That is all. So the reality is that the NDC today, we have reorganized our party throughout the country. We have our constituency and regional executives. The NDC today know who our flag bearer is. We had 3 people contesting him. Dr. Komnadu, for the former governor of Bank of Ghana, and then the former mayor of Ashanti region, Kumasi, Kojo Bonsu. All these 2 individuals are leading and they are frontline leaders of John Mahama's campaign.
I know the manifesto is not done.
We will not even go to manifesto.
Free SHS.
Yes.
Do you feel that the NDC should continue on with this policy?
I'm not a policy analyst. I'm an operative.
Yes.
My area of understanding is that the NDC is put in a better place to lead the people of Ghana, to fight poverty, to fight corruption, restore the progress of this country. Make sure those of you in the diaspora, when you are coming back to Ghana, you are coming with hope. You are not coming into a crime scene. So I will not be discussing free SHS. The totality of the economy is not about free SHS.
No, the reason why I'm saying that is that upon my own research, many Ghanaians are saying that they were not, if you notice, they
but
vote
you yourself, as you sit here, I have kids. I would want to pay my children's school fees because I'm capable.
Yes.
When we were in the school in the village,
that means tested.
That means that it's not everybody that is poor in Ghana. Why should we have free education, free for all? Why should we do that?
But no, most people with money, do you think most people with money go to the free HS or they take their children to private school?
There's nothing progressive, there's nothing economic, there's nothing nationalistic about Nanado's free SHS policy. It was everything deceptive. It was everything to deceive the people. The same way he deceived you, that you built one district, one factory. He never did. The same way he said, I will undertake one village, one dam. He never did. The same way he told people that I'll give 1 million per constituency. I never did. The same way he told the youth of Ghana that I'll give you free SHS. Today, children go from school and they are sitting home and they don't know when they are going back to school. We have a president. We have a minister of education.
I think there's 2 areas. Maybe Ghanaians will need a proper clarity from NDC.
Whether we
then NHIS. People who don't have money, they go to hospital and then they send home to go and die.
No, he's collapsed it. How are you talking about people go and... He's collapsed it. They've collapsed it. Corruption. There is no NHIS in Ghana.
People have
people are still
but they have to pay. That's what I'm saying.
I'm saying that they don't even who receive it in the first place. So if the NHIS policy does not give the medical facility, I have worked at health insurance before. If you take health insurance to the hospital and the facility doesn't have a guarantee of when government is going to pay, they can't be haircut on the provision of health services. Those are emergency services.
But they are all
you can't do haircut.
They are all afraid to talk
because we have a rogue government. They will threaten you both covertly and indirectly. We have a corrupt regime, a criminal system put in place. Journalists are being threatened. Censorship in Ghana. Nobody can talk. Pastors cannot speak. If they speak, tomorrow GRA is going after them. People who are educated cannot speak. Because when you speak, you lose whatever opportunity you had in the country.
So there is a dilemma here.
If you are a business person and you speak, they collapse your business.
So there is a dilemma here. Kendapa is talking about scaremongering. Then at the same time, you are saying that the government is the one who is doing that.
Forget a sleeping minister, an old man. He should be on retirement. He doesn't understand what insecurity Ghanaians are faced with. Ghanaians are faced with broad day corruption and thievery. That is insecurity. Ghanaians are faced with
old thing that you said. I think you should retract it, because there's a lot of old people contributing to the Ghana.
There are a lot of old people in Nanado's government, and they are not doing nothing. They are part of the syndicate of corruption.
Okay.
The Agric minister who is contesting for presidential race, he sleeps everywhere in public. That is the man who led the
maybe he didn't take his medication.
For food and jobs.
He didn't take his medication.
Well, that means he's disoriented. How can you keep that person at positions of taxpayers? The man is disoriented. He says he wants to become a president. The man said, I'm undertaking planting for food and jobs. He never did. He wants to be a president. You kept an old man who sleeps in public at the National Security Affairs. The President Akufo-Addo is a joke. He doesn't understand where we are. You are surrounded by insecurity across the West African sub-region. And your National Security Minister is an accountant. Are you serious? Are you serious? President Akufo-Addo's National Security Minister is an accountant. Are you serious? Your country, Ghana, something is wrong. That is what we are seeking to cure. It is no longer about the NDC. It's no longer about President Mahama. It's about safeguarding and protecting our country.
Because of what you said, I'm just thinking about ECOWAS, people moving freely across.
Are you not talking about proliferation of
small... And then coming to our country?
Are you not talking about proliferation of small arms in Ghana? Are you not talking about that?
That's very serious as well.
Armed robbers are using rifles. Meanwhile, you cannot obtain a permit to hold a rifle in Ghana. Where did they get those rifles from? The National Security Minister is not worried about that. He doesn't see that as a threat. He doesn't think that a time is coming. The young people of this country, graduate, will go in arms and kill ministers of state. He doesn't think that business owners are no longer safe because there are no jobs for the poor. And that people will go after them. He doesn't see that as a threat. He doesn't see farmers. Today, cocoa farmers from the villages are being told that go and look for poultry manure, poultry farm, the feces of the chicken. Go and use it to apply to your cocoa.
But they say the planting for food and jobs is
because they have corrupted the place. The cocoa board, they've collapsed the place for the first time. I'm not the one saying it. Gbande Japan is a presidential aspirant of the MPP.
Yes. He's been
a well-groomed young man of the Dankwa Buzia tradition who is in government today. He says that for the first time, cocoa board is collapsed. Canada, Japan is talking about how they've shared state resources, shared state lands. It is not me talking about it. Under President Akufo-Addo. You don't think that threatens your country?
So, okay, what is the opposition in parliament saying that when Kennedy is making allegation that Bawumia is using government machinery to campaign, government money to campaign, the taxpayers' money that he is using?
Ghanaians are watching that. We are very happy. We in the NDC are very happy. That Bawumia has...
Would it be happy or sad?
We don't know. We are not sad. Because we already know that it's a useless system to the plight of the people. Nanado has no time for poor people. He has no time for unemployed people. He has no time in the security of this country. It's about building an empire that will protect itself in the near future against the poor. It's about making Achim rich. That is all it is about. Nanado's dream is to ensure that before he goes into his grave, the Dankwa tradition, they call him Oforipenyi, whatever he could not achieve, that dream is achieved before he goes off the scene. It is not about Ghana. Nanado is the biggest mistake we ever made in our country. He has mortgaged the future of your children, the future of our grandchildren, the future of the poor, the future of the less privileged to his family. He consigned same to his family. Let me tell you, Nanado has done things that are very unreasonable to the extent that I weep for his children and his grandchildren. How they will live in Ghana after him. Power will change one day and they will pay for their crimes. I can assure you.
So are you saying that they will find it very uncomfortable to live in the country?
When your father is a criminal, how can you find comfort? When your father led the destruction of Ghanaian vegetations, forest reserves, led the regime that depleted our land, our mineral resources.
Yes. So this is something that the ministers have to start thinking of.
Do you think they should have peace? Do you think they should have peace? Do you think that they should have peace? The poor man's children should continue to suffer, whereas the rich man's children should continue to enjoy? Is that how to build a country?
No. But what I'm saying is, are you saying that the ministers in Ghana should think twice of their behavior?
They should not think twice. Look, let me tell you.
Whatever they do,
December 2025, every single minister who has any way, in any form, dissipated, misappropriated state fund will be held accountable. I can assure you. It doesn't matter who is involved. If I steal state resources, I should be in jail. I will not steal what belongs to the poor because I came from a poor family.
So why is the government having difficulties with access declaration?
What is the government? The government is a rogue regime.
Would have addressed all this.
The leader of the government is a rogue. How can he hold his own appointees accountable? Nanadu sleeps and drinks corruption. How can he fight corruption? This is a man, before he became president, people were being bathed with acid. Blood was shed before he became president. How can he fight corruption? How can he see it wrong? We are talking about a document that undermines the stability of our country, the Japadia document. Nobody wants to read it. Go and download and read. It is no longer about NDC and MPP. It's about the fact that I was born and raised by parents who could not pay my school fees. By certain governments made the country possible for all of us to realize our dreams. Today, you cannot get a job, let alone to go to the university. Even if you complete the university, the quality of your education, government intervention, scholarship secretariat, they are selling to people. People within the MPP government have been brought into this country on scholarship twice. We are talking about corruption. We are talking about government. The president is corrupt. And you think his appointees should be better? Members of parliament, 90 MPs of the MPP, signed a petition to the president, remove the minister of finance. He says he will not. Yes. If you saw anything wrong with any appointee under Nanado and you told him, that is when he will bless. He will shower blessings on that appointee. This is a president. The existence of Akufo-Addo as a president undermines the stability of our country. Soon, the young people of this country will rise up again. Because you see, there is no guarantee that my children will do well in Ghana. There's no guarantee that your children will do well in Ghana. You must not have political power to guarantee the liberty and the prosperity of your children. You should not belong to Akufo-Addo's clan to be able to access benefits that the country has made provisions for you. That is what politics is about. If your political power does not lead to the emancipation of the poor from poverty, from disease, you are useless to the plight of the people. That is what exactly Nanado is.
So the NHIS, as far as you are concerned,
they've collapsed.
Total collapse.
They've collapsed. What do we call? They've collapsed cocoa board.
Yeah.
Under President Mahama, cocoa farmers were taking seedlings for free. It may have not been enough. They were giving free fertilizer. Today they don't even get it. The institution itself has collapsed. For the first time, Bank of Ghana has made losses. Because Bank of Ghana does not have the right to write off debts by government. Bank of Ghana is a bank of the people.
Yes. No reserves, nothing.
So, one, the Minister of Finance, who is a cousin of the president, orders for money to be printed. They printed same in excess of the ceiling that the laws of Ghana allows them to do so. The law simply says that you have the mandate to print cash, fiscal cash, for liquidity reasons and economic shocks. But just in case you get to the limit, go to parliament for approval. The governor of Bank of Ghana, through the Minister of Finance, prints money in excess of their limits without parliamentary approvals. In the midst of economic crisis, Bank of Ghana is undertaking the construction of a Bank of Ghana building costing $250 million. The same government that says that we admit that things are wrong, we admit that we are in crisis. In fact, the president actually admits irresponsibly that MPP needs a new lawyer to come and sort out the economic situations we have. In the midst of this, in the midst of health situations, in the midst of, pregnant women dying at hospitals,
yes, that one is
they are
very
building
serious.
a $250 million Bank of Ghana edifice. And they said that the old one, which was constructed before I was born, is an earthquake zone. Bank of Ghana does not trade in Ghanaian eggs. It doesn't go to the domestic forex market. Bank of Ghana has made losses of 60 million cedis. And you think that is okay? The governor, since he came, he's been increasing his salary 100% every year. Go and check the facts.
Yes.
And you think this is not national insecurity? You think these people should continue to be close to power? You are not worried that you live in UK, but your country is being managed like this? Will Nanado manage his company the way he's managing this country? And the people of Ghana should continue to be timid and mediocre.
But he has
Peace Council
he said
is quiet.
that the next administration will take
let
over.
me-
The next administration
let me
that take over
let me tell you, any pastor, bishop, who will aid this government to campaign to the people of Ghana for power, your children will pay for it. Any man of God. Because the people who are suffering are not pagans, they are Christians. I have been a Muslim.
So
I'm
it's
a
like
Christian.
knowing the truth and then not doing
Yes. Their children will pay for it.
You,
Pastors,
and you are what?
I'm a Christian.
Okay.
Pastors,
But when people see your name, they will say Mustapha.
Let me tell
they
you,
will then associate you with.
Baumia is all over the place, moving from the home of one pastor to the other. We have all the profiles.
Yes.
Okay, so a lot of pastors are quiet.
He said he's both. He's Christian and Muslim.
He's a hypocrite. You cannot be here and be there. There's no middle ground in faith. You are either cold or you are hot.
But he is both.
I was a Muslim.
He's going to Pentecost
I
church,
was a
he's
Muslim.
going to
He's
Catholic
a
church, he's
hypocrite
going to the mosque.
and a mediocre. If you can't determine the character of a man, don't give him power. The most dangerous person is the person you have no idea of his character, yet you want him to take care of the security of your life. It means you are naive. I am not a Muslim. I was a Muslim. Today, I'm a Christian. So if you
we're going to trouble you a little
tell
bit.
me-
What makes you change?
if
You ask.
we'll get there one day. That's why I'm saying that.
No, we want to know a little
Yes,
bit of
that's
it.
what I'm
And
saying.
then you go back
I
to
am
your
telling
point.
you that it is biblical. It is in fact Islamic
Okay.
that you don't stand in the middle of faith. You stand at one place. Look, any Christians who go to a malam for consultation, they say, hey, mediocre. Since I became a Christian, I've never gone to a malam for consultation. Because Islam is not all about consultation, it's about prayer.
Yes.
It's about regimented faith.
Is your wife Muslim? Do you have a wife?
My wife is a Christian.
Is a Christian. Oh, okay.
I'm not in Christianity because of marriage.
Oh, okay.
I have my own encounter with, but I'm just saying that Dr. Baumia cannot continue to tout himself partly as a Muslim, partly as a Christian. That is mediocre.
The
It is not
Pentecostal
biblical.
churches that knows that, okay, Baumia goes to
Let
them.
me tell you,
Because he took 50,000 Ghana
The
to
leadership-
Osubempa. Baumia took it. Kennedy took 50,000 there. Then Alan Chamatin also.
the leadership of the Pentecostal society in Ghana, I do not want to attack them, but I want to remind them that they have the biggest following in Ghana in terms of Christians.
That's why Baumia want to go there.
When they are blinded and cannot reject what is cursed, they will be cursed.
Okay.
Trust me, don't misuse, undermine the people of the power of the people.
So knowing what is the truth and not doing it.
You will be cursed.
Okay.
And so It is one thing doing what is righteous, one thing not doing what is righteous, but doing what your interest is. If they are moved by their stomachs, they will be cursed. Let me tell you, sir, I'm a young man who came from the village into Accra.
Yeah.
I sit here, I have no relation at any place of strategic position in Ghana.
Yeah.
Okay? So, young people from the village like me should be given the opportunity to grow.
Yeah.
We cannot create a society, a class society in Ghana. We are redefining colonialism and blaming the British.
Yeah.
When our leaders are doing worse. We have brought day armed robbers at positions of power. We are not able to speak. But yet, we blame people who have colonized.
We have all the laws, but we don't use it.
We
have a constitution.
The NDC in 2025 will activate the laws.
It's 1992 constitution. It's very old. And before we go there, producer, is the number on for us, please? Can we take maybe 1 or 2 calls or 3 before we go? Is it on? Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, please. Yeah.
After 2024 and in 2025, John Dramani Mahama would have a country to build, but we will have criminals to go after. And everyone who have been part of the create, loot, and share supervised by Nanado will be held accountable. Yes. The Ghanaian people should hold us on this promise that it doesn't matter what it takes. People who have done this damage to our forest reserves, government officials engaged in illegal mining, they will be held responsible.
Honorable, hold on, please. Please, we can take about 3 questions. Our viewers, if anyone want to call in, please do call in. Thank you. We are ready to take calls. Thank you. It's very, you've taken us deep into things. Now, on reflection, like I said, I'm going back to the 2016. We had a lot of arguments, debate, and reflected on it.
Yeah.
And then MPP won the election. I'm going back to it. 2020, it was almost the same. There's a call, please. Yeah. So when do you want to leave? So
no, it's okay.
It's fine. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Hello. Who is calling and where are you calling from, please?
Yeah. Hello. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, sir. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. I want to commend you for this program.
Thank you.
And to welcome Mr. Honorable Mustapha Gbande to UK.
Thank you.
Well, this question is not political, because something just struck me. He mentioned that he is a Christian, but the name sounds a Muslim. Is he telling us that all those who have those Muslim names, excuse me to say that, are Muslims? Because over here we are made to understand that whoever has a Muslim name, those names, I don't know what, Arabic names are all Muslims. Just to clarify that.
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay. So I want to thank your first caller. Respectfully, I wasn't born into Islam. I was born into tradition. So yes. I've tasted all the 3 traditions in Ghana. Today I'm a very trained Christian. In fact, I'm a pastor.
Yeah.
Now, it is not to say that if you use a Muslim name, you are a mediocre. I said Baumia is a mediocre, judging his actions in Ghana today. You cannot on one breath say that you are a Christian, on another breath say you are a Muslim. I'm just saying that both Islam and Christianity dictate that you must either be cold or you must be hot. If Baumia is hot, let him be hot. If he is cold, let him be cold. There is no religious undercurrent in Ghana. But it is only mediocre when you seek to exploit religious sects and factions for political gains. That is what Bawumia is seeking to do, and that's why I say he's a hypocrite. It is not about you bearing the name a Muslim or you bearing the name a Christian. Look, Ghana today, Christians and Muslims are family. Okay. But the undercurrent issues are that they are two separate traditional religious sects. Okay. So if Bawumia was doing this and he is not a politician, the kind of politician he is today, I will trust it. Yes. The man who sit with imams in public and he's bribing pastors in the dark, is he a correct person? That's what Bawumia is doing. They should ask his handlers. Yeah. If he has not been visiting pastors in the night, that I know, they should ask him. If he doesn't go to pastors to beg them in the night, and I know, and he knows, it's mediocrity for a certain vice president who have been used for the wrong reasons to afflict the people of Ghana unrighteously, to seek to profit from the same people.
Yeah. Thank you, Honorable. Yeah, thank you. You can call in and ask questions. Anyone who wants to call in, please do call in. Yeah. So where we're talking about the 2016 and the 2020, and I'm still on it because 2020, a lot of issues came up when the NDC lost the election. We was here, and NDC was leading, and the next thing we heard is things have changed.
Yeah,
it was gone. So and they the MPP saying they have the strategy to.
Yeah, the strategy is that it's simple. We stole in 2020, nothing happened. In 2016, we beat you, you didn't act. But in 2024, if they beat, we will beat. It only behoves on government to want to do things proper. That is why we are advising the Electoral Commission to do things within the context of law, our electoral laws. NDC as a people will not sit back for anybody to rig the election. If it means some of us dying to make sure the right thing is done, so be it. We are prepared for it. Yes. I can assure you that going into 2024, anything that is not lawful in the country will spark the most aggressive tension. And I can assure you, the only thing that Ghanaians will tolerate is to choose a president who is legitimately elected. We can't have any criminal being imposed through crooked and corrupt systems as a president any longer. Not in Ghana again. You have seen the ramifications when people rig election. You have seen the situation down the drains. The president feels that I don't need to campaign, I don't need to work, I don't need to solve your problems to get your mandate, because I can get an electoral commissioner to announce in my favor, get some police officers to tame the public. It's not going to happen again. The military and the police do not have a sole mandate on the use of weapons and arms. They don't. The laws in Ghana actually allows for use, legitimate and lawful use of arms to defend ourselves.
Thank you.
And when we get there, we will get engaged into it.
Thank you, Honorable. Because you have another program going, what is your last word for Ghanaians in Ghana and those in the diaspora?
My last word
all our viewers,
actually is for the wonderful people in the diaspora. You know, I've come here and I've seen how hard our people are working. I've come across professionals, I've come across serious people, high brains, intellectuals who are serving the British. These are the people we are looking for to come back to Ghana for us to develop our country. And so for us back home, we expect that you will help us as a government in waiting to come and create an equitable and balanced environment for an equal prosperity. A prosperity and restoration agenda of our country. A country where if you earn small, you can live well. A country where you can get justice. A country where if the wrongs happen, an institution can right the wrongs. A country where you do not have to be a member of the family of the president in order to have power in Ghana. That is what we are seeking to do. And that is what the whole agenda of the NDC is about. It's a new NDC that is going to aggressively and radically build back the country that we've lost. Build a country of equality, build a country of freedom, build a country of unity. It doesn't matter which tribe you come from, it doesn't matter which religion you come from. Once you are a Ghanaian, the duty of your government, basic, is to create the enabling environment for your prosperity. That is John Dramani Mahama's agenda. It is not, the NDC's comeback is not about NDC itself. It's about bringing a man who have laid a foundation for a major transformational agenda in terms of infrastructure. Somebody must build. When I came here, we went under the underground drains.
It's interesting.
And we ask ourselves, how did they build this?
Yes.
Somebody sat down, imagined it,
Yes.
visioned it, and it was built. Ghana can do wonderful things. You do not have to come on retirement, come and meet a disappointing territory as a country. You should not come back from UK.
Yes.
Get to the airport, and the little pounds that you have is being taken and given to a Ghanaian. You still pay that money till today at the airport, and it is given to a Nigerian, the president's friend. You still pay COVID reliefs at the airport. That is not the government you want. You want to get to Ghana, and your bags are not missing. The things you are sending are not broken. You want to be able to drive to your home without being scared of anybody snatching your bag.
Yes.
After coming to serve the British, you should come into your homeland country and have some peace. That is why we are talking like this. So back home, we are not doing an NDC agenda. We are doing a Ghana agenda. It's about saving the country. No constitution allows an individual to appropriate the nation's power to his family use. And when that is happening, you may think that you are benefiting indirectly today. But tomorrow, you will find out that the armed robbers on their streets, their children are going to marry your children that you train them in the palace.
And turn them to armed robbers too.
Excuse my language. The prostitutes that you have so left on the street,
Yes.
they will suffer and raise their children in the manner they are.
Yes.
And their children will be marrying your children, you so call you are a rich man. And so let us all prosper in the same line, so that when my child is marrying your child, you will be happy.
Yes.
Tomorrow, it is not a case that few politicians can get medical care, and the millions of Ghanaians whose parents are farmers, whose parents didn't get educational opportunity, cannot get that medical attention. It is wrong. It is not religious. It is not just. It is not fair. No nation should practice that. That is what we are fighting against. We are fighting against preserving what is owned by the government, what is owned by the people. No individual should take same. If you can sell a factory to your son-in-law, what kind of president are you? A president who is so unconscionable to the extent that does not feel anything wrong in his mind, that I've made my cousin a finance minister who have collapsed an economy, is problematic, and the people living in the diaspora are going to face the ramifications. The ramification is that your pound in Ghana is meaningless. And so help us to bring back John Dramani Mahama. Help us to fight the injustice in our community, fight the diseases in our community, the people who are dying through road accidents, the people who are dying because they can't get medical care, the old people who cannot rely on Ghana health insurance. That is the canker we are fighting. The way they misappropriated the COVID funds, we should hold people responsible. Whereas family were dying, people were sitting in the Jubilee House planning how to chop money meant to save their life. You think this is righteous? This is evil. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Mustapha Gbande. Thank you very much. And I also want to thank Honorable Joseph Yamin. He's here with us.
Yeah.
Miss Beatrice Asante, producer, you are here, and also Sister Danswa. You know, we thank you all. We also thank our viewers. And we love today's program. It was a lot.
Thank you.
A lot have been shared with us.
God bless
Yes.
you.
God bless you
grateful.
too. So, Ivy, we know you are next, and we'll be waiting for you. Thank you all. God bless you all. Good night. Good night, everyone.
My name is Kofi Adoko. I'm a principal solicitor at Adoko Solicitors. I am also a duty solicitor. Anytime a person is arrested and taken to a police station, or if the police invite you to the police station for a voluntary interview, you have a right to free independent legal advice. Adoko Solicitors is authorized to provide free independent legal advice at police stations in England and Wales. So anytime you're taken to the police station, remember to say that your solicitors are Adoko Solicitors.
Are you in the UK and in need of immigration help? Do you require expert legal representation to regularise your stay or renew your existing leave to remain? Do you require advice or representation regarding a personal injury or criminal matter? If the answer is yes, then you do not need to look any further. Aduku Solicitors is here to provide you with all the expert legal advice and representation you require.
Be it immigration, criminal law, appeal against conviction or appeal against sentence, family law, personal injury, civil litigation, employment law or housing law. Aduku Solicitors is your trusted one-stop legal services provider with expert solicitors and caseworkers on standby to assist. Our police station emergency number is 07792 459 339. You can also call Aduku Solicitors on 0207 183 1479. You can locate Aduku Solicitors at 662 Old Kent Road, London, SE15 1JF.
My name is Kofi Adoko. I'm a principal solicitor at Adoko Solicitors. I am also a duty solicitor. Anytime a person is arrested and taken to a police station, or if the police invite you to the police station for a voluntary interview, you have a right to free independent legal advice. Adoko Solicitors is authorized to provide free independent legal advice at police stations in England and Wales. So anytime you're taken to the police station, remember to say that your solicitors are Adoko Solicitors.
Are you in the UK and in need of immigration help? Do you require expert legal representation to regularise your stay or renew your existing leave to remain? Do you require advice or representation regarding a personal injury or criminal matter? If the answer is yes, then you do not need to look any further. Aduku Solicitors is here to provide you with all the expert legal advice and representation you require.
Be it immigration, criminal law, appeal against conviction or appeal against sentence, family law, personal injury, civil litigation, employment law or housing law. Aduku Solicitors is your trusted one-stop legal services provider with expert solicitors and caseworkers on standby to assist. Our police station emergency number is 07792 459 339. You can also call Aduku Solicitors on 0207 183 1479. You can locate Aduku Solicitors at 662 Old Kent Road, London, SE15 1JF.
name is Kofi Adoku. I'm a principal solicitor at Adoko Solicitors. I am also a duty solicitor. Anytime a person is arrested and taken to a police station, or if the police invite you to the police station for a voluntary interview, you have a right to free independent legal advice. Adoko Solicitors is authorized to provide free independent legal advice at police stations in England and Wales. So anytime you're taken to the police station, remember to say that your solicitors are Adoko's solicitors.
Are you in the UK and in need of immigration help? Do you require expert legal representation to regularise your stay or renew your existing leave to remain? Do you require advice or representation regarding a personal injury or criminal matter? If the answer is yes, then you do not need to look any further. Aduku Solicitors is here to provide you with all the expert legal advice and representation you require.
Be it immigration, criminal law, appeal against conviction or appeal against sentence, family law, personal injury, civil litigation, employment law, or housing law. Aduku Solicitors is your trusted one-stop legal services provider with expert solicitors and caseworkers on standby to assist. Our police station emergency number is 07792 459 339. You can also call Aduku Solicitors on 0207 183 1479. You can locate Aduku Solicitors at 662 Old Kent Road, London, SE15 1JF.
My name is Kofi Adoku. I'm a principal solicitor at Adoko Solicitors. I am also a duty solicitor. Anytime a person is arrested and taken to a police station, or if the police invite you to the police station for a voluntary interview, you have a right to free independent legal advice. Adoko Solicitors is authorized to provide free independent legal advice at police stations in England and Wales. So anytime you're taken to the police station, remember to say that your solicitors are Adoko's solicitors.
Are you in the UK and in need of immigration help? Do you require expert legal representation to regularise your stay or renew your existing leave to remain? Do you require advice or representation regarding a personal injury or criminal matter? If the answer is yes, then you do not need to look any further. Aduku Solicitors is here to provide you with all the expert legal advice and representation you require.
Be it immigration, criminal law, appeal against conviction or appeal against sentence, family law, personal injury, civil litigation, employment law, or housing law. Aduku Solicitors is your trusted one-stop legal services provider with expert solicitors and caseworkers on standby to assist. Our police station emergency number is 07792 459 339. You can also call Aduku Solicitors on 0207 183 1479. You can locate Aduku Solicitors at 662 Old Kent Road, London, SE15 1JF.
My name is Kofi Adoku. I'm a principal solicitor at Adoko Solicitors. I am also a duty solicitor. Anytime a person is arrested and taken to a police station, or if the police invite you to the police station for a voluntary interview, you have a right to free independent legal advice. Adoko Solicitors is authorized to provide free independent legal advice at police stations in England and Wales. So anytime you're taken to the police station, remember to say that your solicitors are Adoko Solicitors.
Are you in the UK and in need of immigration help? Do you require expert legal representation to regularise your stay or renew your existing leave to remain? Do you require advice or representation regarding a personal injury or criminal matter? If the answer is yes, then you do not need to look any further. Adoko Solicitors is here to provide you with all the expert legal advice and representation you require.
Be it immigration, criminal law, appeal against conviction or appeal against sentence, family law, personal injury, civil litigation, employment law, or housing law. Gbande Solicitors is your trusted one-stop legal services provider with expert solicitors and caseworkers on standby to assist. Our police station emergency number is 07792 459 339. You can also call Gbande Solicitors on 0207 183 1479.